Good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Evan Nurani with a check on the storm that is headed our way in Southern California. We have an atmospheric river, also known or dubbed as a Pineapple Express, making its way into Southern California, expected to bring plenty of wind, rain, and cooler temperatures to Southern California and to San Diego specifically. What we're watching for today, Tuesday, is a mainly dry day. We do have some light scattered showers that are expected mainly through the early morning stretch and the late evening stretch. We expect the daytime hours for the most part to include overcast skies and maybe some lighter, very minimal accumulations of rain. As we get toward the evening, really past sunset, we notice that those more dense storm clouds start to roll in. Not only will we notice that those skies get a lot more gray, but we'll also start to see the building blocks for the storm to arrive. The bulk of rain is going to be Wednesday, Christmas Eve, Thursday, Christmas Day, and Friday, the 26th. So what we're going to be seeing is that late tonight, we're kind of setting the stage for that moderate to heavy rain that's going to be in the forecast for Wednesday. Most of the daytime hours, though, there you got overcast skies, only about a 20% shot at those scattered showers through that early afternoon stretch. And then by late afternoon, early evening, we'll start to see that rain begin, really. But overwhelmingly today, Tuesday, it's going to be a lot lighter than what we expect for Wednesday. As far as visibility goes, we did have some dense fog to start off the day. We are still going to be seeing some of those clouds low down to the ground, so we'll be watching for that in particular. But otherwise, it looks like through the afternoon, those clouds will lift a bit, but stay pretty dense, right? Overcast skies is what we'll hang on to. Our rain chances now peak on Wednesday. You can see that chance climbing all the way to 100% on Wednesday. What I want to emphasize in this 3-day stretch is that it looks like we'll get a lot of breaks in the wet weather, especially as we go into Thursday. So Wednesday is the day of heaviest rain in the forecast, moderate to heavy from about 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then into Thursday, not only will we get breaks in the wet weather, but we should also get some breaks in the clouds, allowing for a little bit of sun to peek through at times. Maybe enough time to get outside and enjoy a walk or a run, some Christmas Day plans. And then as we go from late Christmas Day into Friday, we expect more rain on the way. So we'll get kind of a final push of moisture before that chance of wet weather starts to dwindle by the upcoming weekend, meaning much less wet weather in the forecast as we get towards Saturday and Sunday. So let's go day by day, right? Because I want to kind of get this as succinct as possible. Tomorrow, Wednesday, moderate to heavy. By the time we get to Thursday, much more scattered. We'll emphasize the cooler and cloudier weather, but it doesn't seem like our accumulation totals will be nearly as intense going into Thursday. By the time we get to Friday, we've got some overnight showers that will come through Thursday into Friday, and then through the day on Friday, all that wet weather starts to come to a halt, and we'll see that system almost entirely drift to the southeast of us. We do have wind in the process. We talked about that a minute ago. We have both a flood watch and a wind advisory in play. There's a likelihood that that flood watch gets upgraded to a flood advisory. That doesn't denote necessarily flash flooding. We would, however, see the National Weather Service issue a flash flood warning if that became imminent. What the flood watch emphasizes is instead area creeks, rivers, and streams all starting to elevate, and of course the pooling and ponding on the roadways that we typically see. In addition to that, we have a wind advisory that'll be in effect until 10 p.m. on Wednesday, tonight into tomorrow, so Tuesday to Wednesday, as well as Wednesday into Thursday. We'll see the overnight stretch involve a lot of wind, especially by the coast and inland. What we notice is that our local mountains and deserts tend to see a lot of wind often, and they're able to handle it really well. But out along the coast and inland, it's more rare that we see these 40-mile-per-hour gusts. Most cases, we're going to be around 20 to 30 miles per hour, though. This is still enough to take down some of the palm fronds, at least the weaker ones, some branches of trees, perhaps. So just keep in mind that you might notice some debris on the roads for late tonight into tomorrow, as well as from Thursday into Friday. When we look at your rainfall forecast, like I've mentioned, things look really mellow between now and the evening stretch. Past sunset is when we start to see those more light bands of showers arrive, very scattered in nature, hard to pin down, sporadic, right? This is going to help set the stage, though, for what we have going into early Wednesday morning. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Here it is, 9:25 that we're paused at. You can see the yellow and orange, even some red right around the Oceanside area. These are the more moderate to heavy bands of rain traveling south. So we'll keep that system moving south over the course of the day. As we push from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., still not letting up much. In fact, just building down toward our South Bay locations and toward our local mountains. And then as we head through the evening stretch, that's when we finally start to see some improvements. So here's 7 p.m., still hugging the eastern slopes of our mountains as well as the deserts. And then past 7, 8, 9 p.m., we are back to mostly dry skies. I'm not going to tell you that going into Thursday morning that we are seeing a dry day on Thursday because it's doubtful. But what we should see is much lighter accumulations in the forecast. So more mellow, spotty showers. But again, like I mentioned, not only will this give us an opportunity to see some sun breaks, meaning the sun will peek through those more dense clouds, we're going to see pooling and ponding. So you may wake up Thursday morning, Christmas morning, to those wet patches around, to some really wet grass. But as you walk outside, you should have time to get a walk or run in, to spend some time outside without additional rainfall falling on you. As we head through the nighttime hours from Thursday into Friday, we'll have that final push of moisture. There it is, arriving in the overnight stretch. So what I want to point out for this final stretch is that for a lot of us, we're going to be asleep. It's going to be from about midnight to 4 a.m. Shouldn't give us all that much of additional accumulating rain when we compare it to Wednesday's bulk of rain, but just be aware for kind of that final push of moisture through the day on Friday before making its way out and giving us a dry weekend. We are going to run these models through from now through early Saturday. There are a couple things to this. Number one, we expect heavier accumulations to the north of us, way up towards Santa Barbara, and then just deteriorating really as it makes its way south, decreasing in those accumulation totals. Number two, these are all subject to change and very likely to change. So you can see how Santa Barbara is right now favoring about 7, maybe even 8 to 9 inches of rain in the forecast. The white on there indicates 10 total inches. As we move south, we start to see those accumulations dwindle. Pomona, 5.2 inches. Mission Viejo in Orange County, 3 inches. Then you get down to Oceanside, 2.3 inches. Our South Bay locations are favoring about 1.5 inches. And that's because the storm loses all that momentum as it keeps traveling south. So just be aware that if you're up in North County, you're in for about 2 to 3 inches. If you're in the South Bay, we're favoring 1 to 2 inches, but some spots could be right above that marker. Our mountains are also likely to see, I'd say, around 1 to 2 inches, but some localized heavier spots could see that 2 to 3 marker as well. Because this is a pineapple express, so to speak, it's tapping into subtropical moisture, it's a little bit warmer. So that's warm, moist air coming from closer to the equator. It's not going to bring us snow toward our higher elevations. Here's the 7-day forecast, the coveted part of it. We've got 3 days to highlight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Those are the 3 rainy days in the forecast and the days that this storm is most impactful. I'd say that for today, again, expect mainly dry skies, but watch for those showers to pick up, in particular tonight as we get past sunset. We get through those 3 days of rain, temperatures are in the 60s. We start to see those temperatures cool down on the back end, Saturday and Sunday, but we are back to mainly dry skies. As we look inland, we'll see those 3 days again in red, and I want to show how that chance for rain climbs to 100 for Wednesday, drops down for Thursday, and then climbs steadily again for Friday. So Thursday, Christmas Day, does seem to be the lightest of the 3 in terms of accumulating rain. By the time we get to the weekend, we're back to those dry skies across our inland valleys as well. Our mountains and deserts are looking similar. Temperatures in the afternoon will get to the 50s, overnight lows in the 30s at times, especially from Friday into Saturday, but it does not seem like it will be enough to sustain snow for any of our mountain ranges. For the deserts, 60s and 70s, rain will be lighter for them than what we see along the coast and inland. What I should do as just kind of a blanket statement for the entirety of the storm is that we are well equipped to be able to handle a storm like this. We will be okay in terms of our concerns related to flash flooding. There is not a huge concern for flash flooding in San Diego. Areas to the north of us see much heavier accumulations, and burn scars in the LA area are also seeing a big concern related to debris flow. But in San Diego, 1 to 3 inches over the course of the 3 days will be okay. We've got wind on the way with it, so just be prepared, and ideally you're planning your outings outside of the house, outside of those windows. I would say if I were to pick any stretch in the 3 days where I'd like to spend time inside, it would be Wednesday, tomorrow, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Outside of that, we should see things as a lot lighter going into Thursday and going into Friday as well. Overall, we hope you all have a wonderful and safe holiday season. Remember to keep up to date with the latest. You can head to CBS8.com. You can also download our free streaming channel, CBS 8, on your any mobile device or on your Roku TV, Fire TV, and Apple TV. We've got all the details there in these extended forecasts. Have a fantastic holiday, and we'll keep you updated as this storm arrives.